right. Okay, good. Just sitting here making faces. I don't see it on my page, but that's okay. It's going to come up in a second. Guys, can you guys see us and hear us? They're saying that you can't see me. Ooh. Okay, well, let me give you all my best Cory Booker invitation. Guys, this is so exciting. We got an opportunity to get 100,000 more police on the streets of America. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. That was my best Cory Booker impersonation. Did y'all dig that? Did y'all dig that? Wonderful. Hey, thank you guys for being patient. Thank y'all for sticking around. Thank you guys for just not jumping ship on us today. Welcome, y'all. Albeit a tiny bit belated, a little bit late, to the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown, the safe space where we set oppression ablaze. First of all, guys, wait. Tiny bit of housekeeping. First things first. We are having some powerful thunderstorms come through the region. Tunde told me to tell y'all that if all of a sudden we go, he lost power at his house. So if something else happens, if it go down again, it may not come back up for the evening, just because, again, we're having some powerful storms in the region. So be aware of that. Second and third of all, guys, and fourth of all, hold on. Do we have some birthday boys and girls in the room with us today? Hold on. A little birdie told me, well, actually, a little birdie is a lady 747. A lady 747 told me that today is Chuck Diesel's birthday, everybody. Now listen, y'all know Chuck Diesel out here in these YouTube streets. Chuck Diesel is good in everybody's hood. Like Chuck Diesel's in everybody's chat, moderating all the chats, from the Ben Diction show to Willie D Live to right here with Burn It Down with Kim Brown. So guys and ladies and my theys, do me a favor, if you haven't already, please wish Chuck Diesel a happy birthday today. Give it up for that Leo King. Yes, happy birthday, honey. And listen, thank you for that, Tunde. Yes, and if you're able to, take it a step further. Go on, drop Chuck Diesel a little bit in his cash app for his birthday. $ Chuck Diesel 9. If I have that right, Chuck Diesel. I think Molly has put it in the chat a couple times. We'll drop it in there a couple more times, Molly, if you can. Because Chuck Diesel, we appreciate your support here at Burn It Down with Kim Brown. You always coming through, getting up our likes, getting up our engagement, telling people about this show, coming through, showing love. So we want to show some love to you on your birthday today, Chuck Diesel. Thank you so much for all that you do for the fire fan. Thank you for that, Tunde. A couple other birthdays, guys. Today is Afra Singh's birthday. Afra may not join us today in the chat because Afra's in New York about to turn up on her birthday. So happy birthday to Afra Singh. And am I reading this correct? Is it Big Teal's birthday too? Big Teal? Are you in this Leo royalty as well? Well, darling, if today is Big Teal's birthday, happy birthday to Big Teal as well. Happy birthday to all Leos. And it makes me a little sad that Leo season is coming to a close. But just for the simple fact that means we're about to transition out of summer into fall. But I always have no problem with our Virgo fam. Going from Leo season to Virgo season usually works for me because I'm friends with several Virgos and I find them to be charming, lovely people. So Chuck Diesel, Afra Sings, Big Teal, happy B-Days, babies. I appreciate y'all love and support and thank you guys so much. Thank you for that. Yes. Okay, guys. So we're gonna hop right into this here program right now. So a couple things on deck. Today, actually, we're just gonna be really talking about the police and the people that support the police, namely Democrats. Later in the program, we're going to talk about a story that has just been breaking out of Phoenix over the past couple of days, maybe over the past week or so, where a local reporter, a bit of intrepid local television reporting, by the way, brought us a story about how the Phoenix Police Department was charging protesters who were out in the streets last year with gang charges, like hitting them with gang charges. These dumbasses was trying to seriously prove that ACAB, all cops are bastards, they was trying to prove that was a gang, like the Bloods and the Crips kind of gang, right? And they have been exposed by their local media. There's been some accountability, but not a lot. And not shockingly at all, the chief of police in Phoenix is black. And it's always a black person in charge of some shit when the shit is to fan. And that's just how it goes. So we're going to take a look at what's happening in Phoenix a bit later in the show. But we're going to lead off with this embarrassing, I would say a vote of betrayal, but actually that would be way overstating it, because the Congressional Democrats, absent, literally a handful of people, do not represent the interests of Black and brown communities. They do not represent the interests of marginalized places and people whom are targets of police in the American policing system, in the criminal and justice system. And the Democrats in the Senate prove that again and again. But they proved it in maybe one of the worst ways in recent memory, with 2 bullshit votes. Now, I talked about this Thursday on the Remix Morning Show with Black Power Media. And I'm gonna admit to y'all, I did not have a mastery of the facts when I was talking about this story. I have a tad bit better mastery of it now. So let me get into my case here and lay it out here on the line as soon as I'm able to access my doc. By the way, guys, if you wouldn't mind giving us a little thumbs up here, even though we was late and we had technical difficulties, hit us with that thumbs up, with that like. If you haven't already subscribed, go and hit that button too. And thank you all so much, even our new people who joined us, found us from Black Power Media. Thank you guys for subscribing to the Burn It Down with Kim Brown and getting us at or above that 2,100 subscriber mark. I certainly appreciate that. So guys, where shall we begin here? Because I played that Cory Booker performance. You want to talk about performance, nigga? Jesus. That Cory Booker shit was a big performance, a performance of step and fetch it, dog. Of Amos and Andy. Actually, let me not even disrespect Amos and Andy for that coon shit that Cory Booker was up there doing. So here's the deal. Pop up A1 if you could for me Tunde. This is the bottom line, right? Tommy Tuberville, senator from Alabama, who beat out Jeff Sessions. Just to give you an idea of what kind of bullshit Tommy Tuberville is on, okay? Trump endorsed Tommy Tuberville, right? He introduced an amendment in this budget bill that would preclude local city councils and towns and cities who eliminate or actually who defund the police, right? Tommy Tuberville's amendment would reduce or eliminate federal funding to local governments that defund local law enforcement departments, right? This comes at or pretty close by when Josh Hawley from the House, a Republican congressman from Missouri, Josh Hawley was out there with the J6 Bammers, by the way. He was giving them niggas the white power fist, like, hey, white power, as he was walking down the Capitol steps before they rushed in the building. But that's neither here nor there for this purpose of this conversation. So Josh Hawley introduced an amendment that to the Appropriations Committee that Dick Durbin, I believe, who was the second or third most powerful Democrat in the Senate, or I think he's majority whip. Hawley proposed that the bill include funding for 100,000 more police, right? I'm assuming Josh Hawley proposed this because he thought Democrats would be, no, this is something that's going to piss off our constituents. Our constituents were out in the streets by the thousands, by the millions, in cities and towns, big and small, across this country, demanding that we defund the police. That's what probably Josh Hawley thought. Now, unlike Josh Hawley, you and I know what time these Democrats be on. Democrats love the police. The Democrats love the police. People who perhaps would be Democratic constituents or even Democratic voters. I consider myself someone who would be a Democratic constituent if them niggas talked to and about my issues. I probably would vote Democrat. I used to vote Democrat. Okay, but no, you cannot count on me no more, baby. Them days are done. I digress. So the Senate Democrats understood that, you know, they can do what they want. They do not have to adhere to the will of the people or to the will of their constituents at all. So enthusiastically, that amendment was adopted, right? And it was a vote. Okay, this is where I got confused. So the Hawley Amendment was voted on 95-3, right? The Hawley Amendment is the adding 100,000 officers, funding for adding 100,000 officers to the bill, right? To this bill. That was the Hawley Amendment. That passed 95-3. Tunde, do me a favor, pop up A3 for me if you could. So Bloomberg Senate reporter Stephen Dennis was live tweeting the proceedings, right? Again, which happened very late, a couple of nights ago, you know, midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They was in there, what they call a vote-o-rama. And as Mr. Dennis reports here, 95-3, the Senate backs Hawley's proposal for 100,000 more cops in a non-binding budget resolution vote. 3 opponents. Pay attention. Bernie Sanders, Pat Toomey, and is that Mike Lee? Molly, do me a favor. Can you Google that for me? I'm pretty sure that's Mike Lee, Senator Mike Lee. 3 opponents, and Bernie Sanders was one of them. And shout out to my homegirl Sugar from Harlem. Sugar said, Bernie is not a Democrat. You know how you can tell Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat? Because the Democrats voted for the cops. Bernie didn't vote for the cops. So I guess that makes Bernie not a Democrat. And that's ultimately why we still vote with Sheila Jackson Lee, but she's not a senator, Gypsy Mama. I was about to say Mike Lee. That's what I thought. Mike Lee is from Utah, kids. Come on now, you know I got a marijuana brain. it only operates, 45% speed, I believe. But yeah. So 3 people voted against the Hawley Amendment, which inevitably, overwhelmingly passed. So the Tuberville Amendment, Tommy Tuberville, what a name. Right? Tuberville said his amendment is all about punishing local cities and municipalities who take efforts to defund the police, punishing them by either withholding or reducing the amount of federal spending that they receive. And this is where we're going to pick up with that Cory Booker clip. Like I said, it's going to start on Tuberville, right? And then it's going to transition over to Cory Booker. Now, I'm reading some reports that this was apparently an act of over-the-top sarcasm by Cory Booker, that perhaps his comments were meant to be taken tongue-in-cheek. I don't think so, though. I think Cory Booker was happily stepping and fetching it. I mean, it looked like some coon shit to me. And if he was just playing, well, honey, he was a tad bit too convincing with his cooning. Tunde, if we could please take a look at Tommy Tuberville from Alabama and then transition to the senator from New Jersey, cooning happily away.
I call on my colleagues to support our law enforcement by voting yes for this amendment. Opposing my amendment is a vote in support of defunding the police and against the men and women in blue.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Madam President.
Senator from New Jersey.
I am so excited. This is perhaps the highlight of this long and painful and torturous night. This is a gift. If it wasn't complete abdication of Senate procedures and esteem, I would walk over there and hug my colleague from Alabama. And I will tell you right now, thank God, because there's some people who have said that they're members of this deliberative body that want to defund the police, to my horror. And now this senator has given us the gift that finally, once and for all, we can put to bed this scurrilous accusation that somebody in this great esteemed body would want to defund the police. So let all of us, 100 people, not walk, but sashay down there and vote for this amendment and put to rest the lies, and I am sure I will see no political ads attacking anybody here over defund the police. And I would ask unanimous consent to add something else to this obvious bill. Can we add also that every senator here wants to defund the police, believes in God, country, and apple pie? Thank you.
And after that demonstration there on the floor of the Senate, Cory Booker dumped into a rendition of "Hello, my baby, hello, my Charlie, hello, my ragtime gal." Dog, shout out KFZ 24/7. KFZ said it was the minstrel show. Shorty. What else we gonna call it? The minstrel show applies. And David Silberg, you're right, man. 99-0. That Tuberville Amendment passed. And Bernie did vote for that shit. Very disappointed in Bernie. But guess what, guys? I mean, the fact that the Republicans thought that they had a gotcha moment on the Democrats, and the Democrats was like, no, bitch, we law and order too. We are very much the power, the party of law and order, and making sure that police have the powers and the funding and the resources that they need. Shorty, this is our legacy. And just to remind y'all how much of this is the legacy of Democrats. The Democrats back the blue. The Democrats support the thin blue line. The Democrats are here to let y'all know that blue lives matter. And they're going to pull out the purse and demonstrate to y'all that blue lives matter more than combating COVID, more than making sure that schools are properly fitted and ventilated to receive children back. Like backing police prioritize over everything. And that's at the federal level, that's at the local level, that's at the state level as well, right? The police are better funded than everybody. If you follow Baltimore Twitter, there's some threads going around currently discussing how Baltimore City spent almost $1 million of FEMA relief assistance designated for COVID relief on building some police shit, some multi-million-dollar police shit, like Baltimore. Run by Democrats, mayor and council, full of Democrats. Anyway, let's get back to this Democratic legacy of when Josh Hawley proposed 100,000 new police officers. A tingle went down the spine of Democrats, and they were hearkened back in time to 1994, I believe this was. Tunde, can you get that joint ready? What we're about to see here, guys, is former Attorney General Janet Reno and former President Bill Clinton at an event at the Rose Garden after the passage of the 1994 crime bill. Okay. Now, this particular event at the Rose Garden dealt specifically with police grants, right? The Clinton administration was so fucking giddy to give police all this money to combat crime, to combat gang violence, to combat narcotics trafficking. I mean, y'all, I was watching some of these videos earlier today. They was hitting all the buzzwords. It was pretty sickening. And we all know what the lasting consequences of the 1994 crime bill have been. But one of the big selling points of the crime bill was the addition of these 100,000 police on the streets. And we all know how that went. But let's take a little gander back. Let's go back to the not cool part of the 90s, to the Clinton administration, right? I wish I could take y'all back to 1994 hip hop. Oh, honey, it was a banner year. R&B too, even pop. Fuck it. 94, culturally, fun times. Politically, very unfun times. Tunde, let's take a look at Janet Reno.
Today we mark a new beginning, a new era in our anti-crime efforts. Today we launch a real long-term partnership between federal, state, and local officials, police, prosecutors, community groups, mayors, to fight crime and violence in our communities and to put 100,000 new community police officers on the streets of America. But there is one person who deserves special thanks. Somebody who never gave up. Someone who first proposed cutting the Washington bureaucracy by 100,000 and using the savings to put 100,000 new police on the streets of America. someone who fought to get the crime bill through the Congress so that the promise would become a reality, someone who took on some tough special interest and gridlock to make the crime bill a crime-fighting law. So today, on behalf of all of us who were involved in this effort, of law enforcement officials everywhere, I want to say thank you, Mr. President. You were magnificent. Thank you, Mr. President, for the vision to propose a bill that could make a difference on the streets of America. Thank you for the courage to fight for that bill every step of the way and never to give up, and the strength and the determination now to make it a reality, not just months from now, but today and every day from now on. Today, just 12 days after the funding took effect, we are here to announce the first awards of new police officers under the crime bill. Thanks to people who worked hard at the Justice Department, we are getting the money out to start police hiring in just 12 days after the money became available. Crime is too urgent a problem, and proper implementation of the crime bill is too important for us to accept any delay. Today, almost 400 cities will be awarded almost 2,800 new police officers. And coupled with the new police we funded earlier this year, we are now 5,000 police officers closer to fulfilling the President's historic pledge to put 100,000 police officers on our nation's streets.
One is, I think all Americans know that we can never be strong abroad unless we are first strong at home. As we are very proud of the work our armed forces are doing today in Haiti and in the Gulf, we know that they are able to be there doing what they're doing because they come out of a strong, good country with strong basic community ties and values. And our ability to make our people secure is the critical element of personal freedom that rests at the root of our strength as a nation. Let me say again that 100,000 police officers is a number that doesn't mean a lot to the average American. Most Americans don't know how many police we have now. They don't know how many that is. They're not sure what it means on their block. There are 550,000 police officers in America today. 100,000 police is nearly a 20% increase. And if they are all put into community policing as they are supposed to be, then it will be at least a 20% increase in the effective police presence on the street in the United States. That is the message we need to get out to the American people so they can imagine what this means. This is something of profound magnitude, not only in catching criminals, but as every officer here will tell you, in reducing the rate of crime in the first place by deterring crime, by the simple, effective presence of community policing.
Y'all are killing me in the chat. So many boos, so many thumbs down, so many turd emojis for Bill Clinton. Man, oh man. And it's so interesting, you know, for people who are younger, like Jean-Bieves, you know, people who are in their 20s, like y'all don't even understand like how popular Bill Clinton was now. And for Bill Clinton to be that popular 25 years ago and to be so reviled, right? At least by us. I mean, I'm gonna speak for Gen X right here, honey. Bill Clinton was the first indication that we was getting got, right? Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and list all the game that Bill Clinton ran on us, but he ran a nice piece of game right there, did he not? Bill Clinton had just all the colonialist spiel, right? Talking about this is why our soldiers are doing such a good job abroad in Haiti, in the Gulf states, because this is what they come from. They come from this colony of white supremacists who are insistent on making black and brown people in black and brown places bend to its will. Yes, this is why our armed services and our police are so good, because they subscribe to all the white supremacist brutality. It's amazing how well that works. Woo! Little flash from the past there. Blast from the past. Guys, the Democrats love this. The Democrats, like Bill Clinton, and I guess like Joe Biden is doing right now, determined to move to the right of Republicans when it comes to law and order and fighting crime. I mean, that I suppose the claim used to be that Democrats were not tough on crime, which is why, supposedly why they took these very drastic and ginormous and draconian steps in order to make sure that more partnerships were available between local law enforcement and federal agencies, the addition of the building of prisons, mandatory minimum sentences being enforced. I mean, all that was Democrats' brainchild, Joe Biden specifically's brainchild. And this is the direction that they're trying to take us back in. The answer is no. Okay. And is Charlie in here? Charlie, I know you're going to get mad, but Charlie, we cannot keep voting for these Democrats. Now I understand people be like, well, who are you going to vote for? Republicans? No, nigga, we just not going to vote. Oh, you going to vote your local ticket. Okay. Vote your local ticket. Vote your city council, vote your mayor, vote your school board. But these Congress people, shorty, they are not deserving of any of our support or anything like that. And unfortunately, I think that us as a community are going to have to figure out how to live under Republican rule, because at least let me speak for myself. I refuse. I will not vote for people. I will not send people to Congress who are continually voting for policies that are against the interests of me, my family, and my community. And 100,000 police does not serve the country. It damn sure does not serve Black America, right? At all. And what we have learned in the years since the 94 crime bill is, number one, the mere presence of police is not a deterrent to crime. If it had been a deterrent to crime, then why the fuck do crime still be rocking out in so many cities, in so many places, especially in Black and brown communities that are very over-policed? Okay, so does that part of it. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. David Silberg, thank you. Thank you, darling. Talking about the after party. If you are a viewer of Black Power Media, you've heard Dr. Jared Ball talk about the after party, which is an alternative outside of the two-party system, but even beyond what the Green Party and other places are doing, and those details, you should pay attention to them. I'm not able to recite them at this present time. But when Jared was breaking that shit down, I'm like, yep, I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. Sign me up for that. Sign me out of democratic interest and being shamed or guilted into voting Democrat every 2 or 4 years because, oh my God, if we don't vote Democrat, we're going to get a Trump or we're going to get a different kind of Trump. Nigga, the fuck do we got now, shorty? What do we have now? Joe Biden is really not doing things too differently than Donald Trump. He's not handling the pandemic better. He is bombing the shit out of Black and brown countries, right? He is wanting to go invade Haiti, right? I'm sure Donald Trump would have been all for that. So Biden and Trump are really not looking that different in the light, are they? Are they? So at a certain point, if we have any political power, we have to stop wasting it on Democrats, because the Democrats are not pushing policies that help to enable us. I mean, enable us in a positive way. You understand? 100,000 police on the ground ain't doing nothing for us, but further criminalizing us in ways that we still cannot even imagine, right? Because the war on drugs, or at least the war on marijuana, is winding down. That does not stop Black people from being harassed and arrested by the police. Now the police just have other shit to look for, right? They looking for guns. They looking for, ghost guns. By the way, I'm trying to get me a ghost gun. Before they outlaw the ghost guns, I would like a couple of ghost guns. Like, because from what I understand, them joints ain't really illegal, right? You just get the parts, put them together. I am not that skilled when it comes to tools and all that stuff, but I'm interested in the ghost gun. Let me just say that. Who we got up in here? Mark S., Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, same mess, similar administration, all screwed Black people. Mark S., come through. Thank you so much, honey, for your support, Toby. Slowly. Thank you, darling. Toby, thank you so much for your support, honey. You're awesome. You're awesome. Shout out to Rain the Sud. I seen Courtney the SLP. Hold on, I didn't even shout out my people out here. What's up, Pimp C? What's up, Rain the Sud? Queen of the South is in here. Dawn Gibson is in the building. Leah's in the building. Gypsy Mama's in the building. Did I see Radical Leftist Agenda? Radical Leftist Agenda had hit us up. It was like, I'm so sorry I haven't been able to make it to the live show. It's over. Freddie French is up in y'all. Ooh, very smug. You knew. Yes, they do. Very Smug says police still lock niggas up in states that have legalized marijuana. Yes, just for marijuana. Listen, Shody, enough is enough, okay? Black people showed up and showed out for Joe Biden, and I'm so glad that less than a year into Joe Biden's administration, that Joe Biden is showing us his whole ass. Not that I ever had any doubt that Joe Biden would show his whole ass, because you were paying attention, really, Joe Biden was showing his whole ass during the election, right? Telling black people that if you don't vote for me, you ain't really black. Jim Crow Joe gonna tell me who's really black if I don't vote for him. Come through now. I want us to go on to the next story, because I am trying to let y'all go at a reasonable time. But the next story actually dovetails extremely well with this first story, right? Because, I mean, Democrats set the stage for law enforcement to have unfettered resources, access to military equipment in the form of tanks and fucking MRAPs and all the nutball shit that they only wheel out for black protests, right? All that shit that was happening in Portland several days ago with the Proud Boys, they was letting the Proud Boys do whatever the fuck they wanted to do. But in Phoenix, there's been something interesting revealed through some intrepid local reporting. In fact, activists in the Phoenix area were raising this concern quite vociferously last summer, when, for participating in protests supporting the movement for Black Lives and supporting justice for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, protesters who were arrested for demonstrating, for exercising their First Amendment rights, were hit with gang charges, right? Now that is an escalation of whatever charge they were initially being charged with. And it placed them under increased police scrutiny, surveillance, and what's up? Okay. Oh, yes. And this local reporter, I think, did a pretty good job of doing this. So Tunde, I should have told you this beforehand, but we're having some technical problems. It's not a huge deal, but I think we can pull this off. Can we run that clip split screen? Because the package is sort of in 3 segments, and I want to sort of like be able to pause after each segment and sort of go back and reanalyze what we were talking about. Is that possible? Brilliant. David Silberg, thank you, honey. Thank you guys for showing up. Kev Z 24/7. Shades. That means Elena's in the building. What's up, Elena? Oh, and thank you, Elena. Elena's talking to one of my good buddies, Toby Smalley. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, let me know when you're ready, Brother Tunde. Oh, boom. Okay, guys. So check this out. This is from, I think, ABC 15 in Phoenix. You're going to hear the anchors set up the reporter to get into his package, into his reporting. I mean, again, I have a very low opinion generally of local news, despite the fact that y'all see, I will utilize packages. That's just because, we don't have Burn It Down with Kim Brown correspondence nationwide. You know what I'm saying? I got to check out some of the local joints to see what's really popping. But I thought that this is actually pretty well done. So this is ABC 15 in Phoenix. Tunde, let's set us off.
Big story tonight, the Phoenix police chief suspended for a day. Other department leaders demoted as investigations wrap up into Phoenix PD.
ABC 15 investigator Dave Biskobing exposed false gang charges against protesters and that challenge coin within the department. His politically charged investigation sparked the city to hire a law firm to look into all of it, and now their findings are in.
No one knows these cases better than Dave. Tonight he's breaking down the key takeaways and what got us to this point.
The outside investigation is damning. It confirms everything ABC 15's reported this year. And it shows this scandal reached the highest levels of the department. That includes Chief Jerry Williams. Now first, the findings about the protesters who were falsely charged as a criminal street gang. Here's a timeline. This group was arrested downtown on October 17th. 10 days later, Police Sergeant Doug McBride and county prosecutors testified before a grand jury and claimed they were an organized gang called ACAB, or All Cops Are Bastards, because it was...
Don't let that part fly under the radar. He just said that Phoenix police and county prosecutors were going to grand juries to say that protesters arrested who had ACAB signs, all cops are bastard signs, were part of a gang. Now, they knew good and goddamn well that ACAB wasn't no damn gang. And if they didn't know well, but then that's all the more reason for defunding the police. If they don't even have a good common sense or even the street intelligence to understand that ACAB is a rallying cry and not a gang. Not a gang. But the prosecutors and the police felt free to go in there and tell lies under oath. Let's resume, Tunde. Sorry.
Bastards, because it was one of the things they chanted. They also testified the group was like the Bloods, Crips, and Hells Angels. None of that was true. The investigation confirms it. Quote, "We found no credible evidence to substantiate the classification of ACAB as a group or gang, or that the protesters would resort to violence." The investigation also confirmed the decision reached the highest levels. Between the arrests and the charges, at a meeting on October 23rd involving prosecutors, the FBI, and Phoenix officials, including multiple assistant chiefs, everyone signed off on the plan. Not only did they all approve, it was discussed and agreed that Sergeant McBride would file a second incident report in order to bolster the gang charges.
Back and forth.
And Sergeant McBride did just that. The report states the day after the gang charges were obtained, he went and filed a new report to describe the group as a gang for the first time. So where was Chief Williams in all of this? Well, she claims she didn't know, that none of her multiple assistant chiefs told her. Now to the part of the investigation into this challenge coin.
Okay, stop it right there, 2 days. Stop it right there. Stop it right there. Okay, before we get into the part about the challenge coin, which Dave Biscoming from ABC 15 is about to tie this shit together in a nice, beautiful bow. Please, guys, analyze what exactly he was reporting there. There was a concerted effort, dare I say, a conspiracy by Phoenix police, county prosecutors, the FBI, in order to tailor their clearly perjured testimony to a grand jury in order to frame peaceful protesters as being gang affiliated, right? This is how movements on the left, people who resist state authoritarianism, are targeted for incarceration, okay? Among other things, including harassment, abuse, and death, right? But this is blatant, guys. Like, this isn't Bull Connor. You feel me? Like, this is more surreptitious, right? Like, they was trying to be sneaky about it. And the fact that the Phoenix Police Department enjoined a outside law firm to do this investigation. By the way, Phoenix police were uncooperative with this outside investigation. Shocker, shocker. And it's just another reminder, like, please don't let Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and all these motherfuckers point to Cuba and Iran and North Korea and tell you about how their people are being repressed by the state, how their media is being repressed by the state, how dissent is being cracked down violently. Bitch, what the fuck is this? And this is American brand, shouty. We do this shit better than Iran. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we probably do this shit better than Iran or North Korea. Should be perfectly real. But anyway, there was a challenge coin. Challenge. Let's see how we can oppress and repress people's constitutional rights. Challenge coin. Tunde, pick us up.
This challenge coin. We exposed its existence in a February report and then how it has ties to hate speech. It's from this incident in August 2017. A man was shot in the groin by protest response officers. To celebrate, police shared, sold, and traded the coins. But the Ballard Spahr investigation confirmed it wasn't just coins, but also t-shirts, patches, and other memorabilia. In fact, there was a box full of the material, quote, stored in a station briefing room, which is a high-traffic area. The investigation was not able to determine how many total officers had the coin, if officers came up with the design, or who dropped off the box. But everyone denied any knowledge about the meaning of the language on the coin. As for Chief Williams, she was shown pictures of that coin in 2019 during a deposition as part of a lawsuit, but she took no action. The investigation finding PPD leadership failed to take appropriate steps to investigate the challenge coin and related memorabilia. As discussed above, no official investigation was completed until Ballard Spahr was retained nearly 4 years after the coin's creation. And here's why the coin and the gang charges are connected. If Chief Williams properly investigated the coin years ago, the gang charges likely would never have happened. Many of the main officers who had the coin are the same officers who handled the protest arrests in 2020, and that includes.
Y'all hear that? So, had the black police chief, the black woman police chief, black cop, black cop, black cop, black cop, stop teaching black people, you ain't all got a drop, you don't even get paid a whole lot. Take your M16, put it upon lock. Take your 4.5 and put it upon lock. No, I have such a disdain for black cops as of late. And this lady too. Whoop, are you trying to talk to me today? I hear the dog barking. Okay, never mind. Hey, Talisha, what's going on, sis? What's going on, sis? I hope you safe out there. You safe out there. Talisha Conklin says, oh, dang, I done missed the show. She didn't miss the show. Girl, we was late. I watched the playback. Love you, Kim. Love you too, Talisha. Shout out to the Progressive Queens. What's up to Tracy and Mickey and Jenny and Talisha. Progressive Queens. Y'all check them out. Go subscribe to the Progressive Queens channel. Back to this shit right here. Okay. Chief Williams knew that she had bad cops in her midst, right? Had she taken the time to address the bad cops, the bad apples, perhaps, as outlined by the reporter, these protesters utilizing their freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, freedom to protest, maybe they would not have had their civil rights and constitutional rights trampled upon. Just a thought. That's why that few bad apple shit never rings true. To especially people who have experienced police violence, because we know how often so-called good cops will see bad cops doing shit and in turn won't say anything, won't report on them, won't tell, right? So ergo, therefore, that makes the good cop bad cop too. So fuck all them niggas. I'm sorry. Tunde, let us resume.
2020, and that includes Sergeant McBride. I'm investigator Dave Biskobing, ABC 15, Arizona.
So Dave's here with us now. There's a lot more here, a lot behind all of this. We were going to talk about the things that really stand out to you in all this, but at 5:52 tonight, this situation totally changed.
Yeah, we were going to tell you that Chief Williams did not respond to any requests for comment and how the city actually did not fully cooperate with the investigation. But just tonight, just now, minutes ago, County Attorney Alistair Adele released the results of her own outside investigation. Now, this is something that we've been asking for updates on for months, every week for months. I make sure to check in at the beginning and end of every week. In fact, yesterday morning, I said, hey, I heard this is done. Are you going to release it? We heard Phoenix is done. They didn't get back to us. They drop it now in the big shadow of this Phoenix investigation, knowing it's going to suck up all the news coverage, and so that they don't have to answer and face the same level of public scrutiny tonight. And really, that shows you why we're in this position in the first place. We have officials like Chief Williams and County Attorney Alistair Adele who are not willing to answer questions, serious questions about the failures of their departments and how people were framed exercising their First Amendment rights. So we're going to be going through that report tonight. We've asked County Attorney Alistair Adele for an interview. I emailed them immediately and said, we expect her to sit down tomorrow. If she doesn't, we'll of course catch up with her because she needs to answer these questions, especially after how she conducted releasing this investigation tonight.
Yeah, literally coming out about 9 minutes ago. So we'll let you read through it. You haven't even had time to look at it yet.
Just saw the email and then had to come out here.
All right, we'll let you take a look at it. Meantime, we'll have much more from you tomorrow and throughout the evening. Dave, thank you.
Dave Biskobing repping that ABC 15 out of Phoenix. Dave was on his JOB right there, guys. And the story notwithstanding, which is, of course, egregious and probably being repeated in every single city and town across this country when it came to demonstrators out in the streets last year or really at any time, right? The police are fucking with BLM. The police are fucking with people out there, for Black people out there protesting ICE or against ICE, out there protesting for, our LGBTQ plus sisters and bros. Like, the police don't fuck with the left, okay? Very plain and clear there. But I appreciate this reporting from this local journalist for the simple fact that, guys, I don't know about y'all, in DC and in Baltimore, local media does not go hard at law enforcement or really any official entity. And it's because so many of these journalists crave access, right? Well, if I report too negatively about the police chief, then the mayor won't give me an interview. Bitch, who the fuck cares? Like, you better tell the people out here what is actually happening in the halls of power. And if you're just there to be cop stenographer, mayor stenographer, you just there to report the press release, get the fuck out the business, shorty. What the hell's you doing here, man? The journalist is the fourth wall, okay? We are supposed to be here to serve a purpose and serving the interests of the people, not the interests of the powerful. So again, credit to that reporter for that report there, guys. Coming straight out of Phoenix. I'm gonna be keeping an eye upon that. What's up, Latif? How are you doing, honey? What's up? Say what's up to LJ for me. Take LJ hooping this weekend. Have a good time. So guys, I'm going to push off. It's 6:00 and I'm seeing people trickle in who said they was over at Clickbaity watching Marcus. Now, y'all know I got love for Marcus and Mondale. I fuck with Clickbaity, Squirrel Gang, all that shit. Y'all better tell Marcus motherfucking ass he better not be trying to run Clickbaity up against Burn It Down with Kim Brown on Fridays at 5:00. Shorty, this is blocked out time, okay? This is our time. Y'all know this ain't clickbaity time. So y'all tell Marcus I said that henceforth I bet not get no notifications of Clickbaity going live in proximity to the time that Burn It Down with Kim Brown is going live. We are Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have had a standing appointment, boys, girls, and theys, since October of last year. Marcus know this. Mondale know this. Y'all tell Marcus I said. Y'all tell Marcus I said. You know I got love for Clickbaity, but like I said, y'all tell Marcus I said, okay? Hey, guys, that's it. That's the show for today. I want everybody to please have a fantastic weekend. As always, ladies and gentlemen, and theys, COVID is very much still out here jumping on people. In fact, COVID is out here jumping on people at record levels. And let me share a personal anecdote with you guys, okay? It's been a little bit of a crazy week because, in part, I found out that one of my elderly family members has contracted COVID, okay? Now, my family member is 88 years old. My family member was unvaccinated. My family member has not really left the house in any meaningful way in a lot of months since the lockdown, since the pandemic began. His caregivers have made concerted efforts to make sure that this person does not have to go anywhere for anything, right? And everyone that takes care of this family member has been vaccinated, fully vaccinated, and this family member contracted COVID. So fortunately, this family member is asymptomatic. They're doing all right. They're doing okay. Thank the Lord. But it just gave a very glaring reminder that this Delta variant is serious and that clearly even vaccinated people are carrying this Delta variant. So with that in mind, like I said, no, Chuck Diesel, it's cool. Thank you so much for your concern, Chuck Diesel. Like I said, if the family member was doing not well, I would probably be like raging right now. But the family member is, like I said, asymptomatic, hospitalized, but resting, not having any sort of respiratory distress or anything like that. But again, COVID, out here jumping on people. So please get vaccinated. if it doesn't offend your moral sensibilities, because you know what? Your ass got vaccinated for polio. Your ass got vaccinated against smallpox. Your ass can get vaccinated against this. And if you choose not to get vaccinated, well, please keep your distance from people, man. Wear that mask, wash your hands, do all the shit to please keep yourself alive out here, y'all. Please be safe. We will see y'all back here on Tuesday. On behalf of Tunde, Molly, and Genevieve, real quick, happy birthday again to Chuck Diesel, Afra Sings, and Big Teal. Turn up, Leos. And we will see y'all back here on Tuesday. Love you guys so much. See y'all later. Bye-bye.